Premier League has been home to some of the biggest cities in England, except for one, Bristol. But with two clubs and two passionate fan bases.
I don't want anything like that to do with the gas.
There'll be riots. There will be riots.
I want to know why they've never had a side in the Premier League. Describe Bristol City fans in 3 words.
I don't think I can say that on camera.
This is Bristol, football's most boring city. Well, here's a bit of backstory. Bristol has 2 teams in the Football League. Bristol City, who play in the Championship, who I also happen to support. Now, City are renowned for mid-table mediocrity, and there seems to be no change on the horizon. And then there's Bristol Rovers, the little cousin of the Red side, who play their trade in League One. The club has had up and down moments in the past decade, which includes a relegation to non-league in 2014. But now the club has its sights on promotion. An unlikely goal, but a goal nonetheless. But there's one thing they both have in common. They hate each other. So much so that when the clubs last met in 2013, Sky Sports had to cut the coverage short due to fan unrest. It was a great night though. But the big question is, would the city benefit from a merger?
No. I don't think they would. I don't think they would.
No, absolutely not. I don't want anything like that to do with the gas. Can't stand the stuff. Ooh.
Man United or Rovers?
Man United, easily.
I think it could, but I don't know if that would ever happen.
I think probably merge could be better in unity, stronger team.
How would the fans react if they did merge?
There'll be riots. There'll be riots. There will be riots. It'll be City fans versus Rovers fans all day.
Now, as a City fan, I obviously don't think they should merge. It'd be like Man City and Man United merging, just a lot less successful. But there is a question to be asked. Who will make it to the Premier League first? But how close have the two clubs come? Well, starting with City. Having been relegated from the top flight in 1980, a 44-year hiatus looks set to continue. The club have shown signs of promise, however, but ultimately fell short of the final hurdle. But 2008 was almost so different. Under the leadership of Gary Johnson, the Reds nearly gained 2 straight promotions to the Premier League. After winning promotion from the 3rd tier in 2007, they went on an incredible run the following year, eventually finishing 4th and making the playoff final, which they lost. And then there's Rovers, who have never been in the top flight, with their history consisting of bouncing between the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and even a stint in the 5th tier. And the closest the Gas have ever come is finishing 6th in 1956, when they ended the season with just 4 points below the promotion positions. Which one will make the Premier League first?
Bristol City.
Probably City.
City, unfortunately.
City, it's not going to be for a long time.
Bristol City. All the way.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Our owner, Steve Lansdown, is worth over £2.7 billion, but the club, on a daily basis, is still leaking money. As in 2022 to 23, the club lost £22.2 million pre-tax. Steve Lansdown,
Yeah.
right, he's invested a lot into the club, but do you think it's time for him to sell up?
I think it is. Heart's not in it as much as it used to be.
Do you think another owner could get them to the Premier League?
Possibly if they were willing to put the money into it.
But City have also become a big selling club in recent years. Bournemouth, you're welcome. With players like Antoine Semenyo, Alex Scott, Joe Bryan, Bobby Decordova-Reid all going out the door to succeed at other clubs. And with Tommy Conway looking like the next player to leave the club, you can really understand why the fans are so frustrated. So for this video, I reached out to an unbelievable amount of Bristol Rovers fans, and not one of them wanted to be in the video, which makes sense because I made a lot of videos saying I'm a City fan. But today, I'm Northampton Town, baby. I can't say baby. I got a ticket in the away end. I'm gonna get someone to talk to me. If anyone recognises me as a City fan, I'm gonna get pummeled. I'll see you in A&E. Come on, the City. One team in Bristol. There's no one around. There's literally no one around.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Well, in 2016, they were taken over by the Al Khadi family from Jordan. The fans optimistic that they could not only compete with City, but the rest of the EFL as well.
We are the best club in Bristol now, the richest club in Bristol. Premiership in 5 years, here we go.
In 2023, Al Khadi sold the majority of his ownership to Kuwaiti businessman Hussein Al Saeed, who essentially wrote off any debt that the club had. So Rovers are in a really good state financially. So the financial situation at Rovers at the minute is pretty positive. Do you reckon you'll beat City to the Premier League?
Yeah, get 5 year, maybe 6. It's all looking good.
Do you genuinely believe that Rovers could be the first one?
No. Yeah, of course.
So why don't you think Bristol Rovers have ever been in the top flight of English football?
Lack of area, no one really wants to come down here.
But why? Well, right now, Bristol Rovers don't have amazing facilities at their disposal. Despite having decent pitches to train on, the stadium has been widely known as one of the worst in the EFL. But saying that, the club recently developed the South Stand, which does look nice to be fair, but the rest of the ground looks made up of temporary gazebos. I am staying neutral, don't worry. But even so, the Memorial Stadium is known for a great atmosphere. So let's go and see what the Rovers fans are like on a match day. So for a League One fixture between Bristol Rovers and Northampton Town, it only cost me 20 quid, which I think is really good for a day out. But after kick-off, the atmosphere was, well, let's just say quiet. atmosphere's definitely picked up. It's just been so quiet in here up until 37 minutes in. And in all fairness, literally nothing happened throughout the 90 minutes. It was one of the worst games of football I could have possibly gone to. Now obviously trying to be as neutral as possible, the atmosphere wasn't amazing today. But to be fair, the game was awful and I've been to funerals that are more entertaining. And as I was leaving, guess what happened? Well, that was annoying. But on to City, who most people are tipping to make the promised land first. And despite being seen as the bigger club in Bristol, we haven't really achieved anything significant in our history. But we have won the Johnson's Paint Trophy 3 times. We're massive, mate. But are the club equipped to make the Premier League soon? Well, City have a very different situation to Rovers. The club play at Ashton Gate, which has changed massively in the last decade, going from an old school stadium to a state-of-the-art one that I really think is of Premier League quality. But saying that, in my opinion, the atmosphere has taken a hit, and things aren't quite what they used to be at Ashton Gate. But again, that's just my opinion. So by all accounts, the City has a Premier League stadium. Well, since being promoted back to the Championship, this is where Bristol City have finished every year since.
Boring.
Are you bored of watching Bristol City?
A lot of the time, I do enjoy being there.
No, you can never really get bored of watching the club. I'm getting bored of the Championship.
No, not at all, not the slightest.
Never get bored of watching Bristol City, Mikey. It is a religion for me. Don't get bored of coming. Some of the football over the last few seasons has been a bit dull.
Do you think you can finish higher than mid-table this season?
Definitely. I mean, I'm hoping we finish in the top 10.
Hopefully. Obviously, playoffs is the aim. I take 7th or 8th.
We should be looking at the playoffs. So yeah, absolutely, I think we will finish above 11. I hope that doesn't bite me.
So to my surprise, there seems to be more optimism from City fans than in recent years. So can Bristol City finally make it this season? So for a championship fixture between Bristol City and Millwall, the cheapest seat in the home end would cost you £31, which I actually think is quite expensive. But little did I know that it would be worth every penny for game of the season. The atmosphere was bouncing, and things would only get better shortly after. Go on! City were 2-0 up after 10 minutes, but this is Bristol City. But it would only get worse. From 2-0 up to 3-2 down in a matter of minutes, it had been the most Bristol City performance you'll ever see. Until... And with 2 minutes to go, City had won it.
Oh,
Now this is one of the best atmospheres I've experienced at Ashton Gate in a long time. And even at full time, the fans were sticking around singing their hearts out on a day that no City fan would hope to forget. I wasn't really expecting that, but what a day. Now you may be wondering why I made this video, especially as a Bristol City fan. Well, in all honesty, it's to answer the questions that the neutrals are asking. Living in London, I get asked so much why I support Bristol City, and it must be so boring supporting them. Plus, there's been too many videos on how boring the club is. But I genuinely believe that Bristol could be a sleeping giant in English football. Now, obviously, no city deserves to have success based on how many people live there. But it seems to me that both City and Rovers have extremely passionate fan bases, regardless of where they finish in the table. Now, don't get me wrong, I am bored of seeing City finish in the same position year after year. I'm just as passionate about my club now as I was when I was a kid, and I assume that all City and all Rovers fans are the exact same. So let me know, will Bristol ever have a team in the Premier League? Cheers for watching, lads. I don't know how to do an outro. How do I end this?
I can't read, I can't write, it don't really matter.